Good morning. This is Kent Blaylock with SDG Replays. That's the Soli Deo Gloria Replays. I'm coming to you this morning from a sunny but cool North Carolina this morning, and we're going to be doing a replay from the 1979 Major League Baseball season. I have begun what I am calling the Dumpster Fire Invitational, and I say that meaning I've chosen to use for my own entertainment the bottom 16 teams in the 1979 season. So that's what I did is I just took a look at their overall records and I seeded them accordingly from 1 to 16 and getting those teams. And the play-in is a best of, I believe, 3. Then the next round, a best of 5. The next round, a best of 5. And the last 2 rounds, best of 7s. So we're going to play this out. I will not play every game. I'm just going to select games from each day of games. And as you can see here on the bracketing, and let me get it where I can actually see it. In the round, it says round 2, but it's actually round 1. It's just done that because of the way the PCReplay sets up the bracketing. But you see the Blue Jays and Astros. The Astros were the number 1 seed, yet they lost 2-0 in the game that I played previously. That was the one game I played in that round. Then you have the New York Mets at the Detroit Tigers. And if you'll notice, you're going to have American League teams playing National League teams that did not seed them according to leagues, just strictly on record. So then the Mariners versus the Rangers, the Giants and Cleveland, and the White Sox and the Dodgers, the Padres and the Twins, the Braves and the Phillies, and the A's and the Cardinals. That's who is in this tournament. I am going to play the San Francisco Cleveland matchup. The 7-seeded Cleveland against the 10th-seeded Giants. And the higher seeded, or in this case, the Cleveland, will be the home team. The team with a better record gets the benefit of being the home team. So we will continue and move forward and get into our gameplay. So we will autoplay these games. The Toronto-Houston matchup. And Houston wins 1-0 to even up that series 1-1. Low scoring series. The first game was 2-0. The Mets and the Tigers. And the Mets will take a 2-0 lead in that series, and it is best of 5, in the first round. Seattle and Texas. And Seattle takes a 2-0 lead with a easy 9-3 victory against Texas. And this will be our game that we're going to play today. San Francisco against Cleveland. Bob Nepper will be pitching. The lineups for each team. And Rick Waits will be pitching for Cleveland. So here's our starting lineups. For the visiting Giants, center fielder Larry Herndon, left fielder Terry Whitfield, right fielder Jack Clark, third baseman Darrell Evans, second baseman Bill Madlock, first baseman Mike Ivy, shortstop Johnny LeMaster, and then your catcher Dennis Littlejohn, and pitching Bob Nepper. I did choose for this dumpster fire invitational to have no DH, so the pitchers will be batting. For the home team, Cleveland Indians. In left field, Paul Dade. Center field, Rick Manning. Right field, Bobby Bonds. At first base, Andre Thornton. At third base, Toby Harrah. At catcher, Gary Alexander. Second base, Dwayne Kuiper. At shortstop, Tom Verzer. And pitching, Rick Waits. That's our lineups. Let's get into our game.
Replay Radio is live from Cleveland. Top of the first.
Again, pitching for Cleveland is Rick Waits at a 4.44 ERA in 79 with a 16-13 record. Coming to the plate for the Giants is Larry Herndon, batted .257 with 7 home runs. Waits toes the rubber. He delivers to Herndon. And a short fly to center field, Manning easily underneath it for out number 1.
Base is empty.
That brings up Terry Whitfield to the plate. Batted .287 with 5 home runs. Waits delivers. And he gives him a free pass as Whitfield is on first.
1 out, man on first.
That will bring Jack Clark to the plate. Well-known San Francisco player. Batted .273 with 26 home runs in 79. And he strikes him out as Clark goes back to the dugout. We have 2 outs with Whitfield on first.
2 outs, man on first.
That'll bring Darrell Evans to the plate. Batting from the left side. Evans digs in as Waits delivers. And it's hit sharply to second, but it's a leaping catch by Kuiper to end the inning. We go to the bottom of the first. Again, pitching for San Francisco is Bob Nepper. He had a 4.64 ERA with a win-loss of 9 wins and 12 losses. Coming to the plate for the Indians, Paul Dade, batted .278 with 4 home runs in 1979. Nepper toes the rubber as Dade digs in, pitches delivered, and he strikes him out as Dade goes down swinging.
1 out, base is empty.
That will bring Rick Manning to the plate, batted .259 with 3 home runs. Batting from the left side, lefty against lefty. Nepper delivers. And it's a single to left field as Manning is on first with one out. And he will attempt to steal as Nepper delivers. Manning is off. And he does not get the jump as Nepper steps off and holds him on. Bobby Bonds to the plate. Bonds on the season in 79 was batted .275 with 25 home runs. Nepper delivers. And it will be a ballpark check, a ballpark effect. And it will be a single. Will there be extra bases for Manning? Or will the third base coach hold him? He does get that extra base. So with one out, we have men on the corners.
One out, men on first and third.
Hey, good morning, Dave Gardner. That brings Andre Thornton to the plate, batting .233 with 26 home runs in 79. Runners on the corner. Bob Nepper delivers. And he hits into a double play, killing that rally quickly, as there were two hits, but two men left on as we go to the top of the second. Still scoreless. That'll bring Bill Madlock to the plate. Batted .298 with 14 home runs in 79. Rick Waits toes the rubber as Madlock digs in. Pitch is delivered. It's hit sharply to Hara at third. Over to Thornton at first. One out. Brings Mike Ivy to the plate. Batted .286 in 79 with 27 home runs. He's digging in as Waits delivers. It's ground ball again to the third baseman. It will be a column check with the first base umpire. And he is safe. The only rolls he can be safe on are 1 and 6, and the 6 was rolled, so Ivy is safe at first.
One out, man on first.
And that brings Johnny LeMaster to the plate, batting .254 on the season in 79. Waits delivers. A single up the middle, but Ivy will hold at second.
Men on first and second.
So with one out, runners on first and second, Dennis Littlejohn comes to the plate. Did not have a great hitting 79 as he batted .197 with 1 home run. And here's the pitch. And he singles off the fielder's glove, hits it sharply. So with one out, bases are loaded. Waits is in a jam.
Bases loaded.
Can he pitch himself out of it? Luckily, he has the pitcher stepping to the plate. Nepper comes to the plate. Not a bad average, not much worse than Littlejohn's at 182 for the season. And he grounds out, but that will score a runner from third. So San Francisco plates a runner here in the top half of the second.
2 outs, men on second and third.
That will bring Larry Hernan back to the plate. He walked his first time up. Here's the pitch. And he strikes him out.
1 run, 3 hits, and 2 left on.
So San Francisco brings a run across the plate, but leave 2 as we go to the bottom of the second. That'll bring Toby Hara to the plate. batted .279 with 20 home runs in '79. Nepper delivers, and he strikes him out.
1 out, bases empty.
That'll be his second K of the game as Gary Alexander comes to the plate, and I get a sip of coffee. Alexander batted .229 with 15 home runs. Empty bases as Alexander digs in. Nepper with the pitch. And he hits a single off the fielder's glove, hit it sharply past Lemaster at short. Runner on, 1 out. They'll bring Dwayne Kuiper to the plate. Batted .255. Alexander taking a slight lead on first as the pitch is delivered. Rare play check. Pitcher tries to retire a runner of his choice. Just throw out first. And he does not get him. Runner on first moves to second. Too much speed trying to get the lead runner. So with 1 out, we have runners on first and second. Maybe my choice should have been first. Throw him out. Throw out the runner, the batter. That brings Tom Berzer to the plate. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm not familiar with this guy. Batted .220 on the season. Comes to the plate with runners on first and second. Nepper delivers. And he hits promptly into a double play. That's their second double play again.
And 1 left on.
Ending any rally that Cleveland had. They've hit into double plays both in the first and second inning.
Top of the third.
Coming to the plate, Terry Whitfield, the left fielder. And here is the delivery. Hits it sharply to second. Kuiper up with it. Over to Thornton at first.
1 out.
1 out. That will bring Jack Clark to the plate. And here's the delivery. And he strikes him out. That's the second strikeout for Clark in this game. Darrell Evans to the plate. He lined out to second base his first time up. This time it was a short fly to left field to end the inning. That will bring
bottom of the third.
San Francisco leading 1-0. Rick Waits steps up. Not used to swinging the bat, being in the American League, so we're going to just swing away. I don't know what he would do bunt-wise. He's bunting as a 3. Well, let's go ahead and bunt. Try to bunt for a hit. Not too optimistic.
He's going to lay down a bunt.
And it will be against the fielder's error rating, but Ivy's a 53. And he gets him out.
1 out, bases empty.
That will bring Paul Dade back to the plate. He struck out his first time up. This will be a range check on Jack Clark. It's a line drive towards the gap in the outfield. Ballpark will take effect. We'll roll the die. And it is a single by Dade, and he stretches it into a double into right field. So a one-out double by Paul Dade.
One out.
And he sits at second with one out. And Rick Manning coming to the plate. Nepper delivers. It's a ground ball to short. Will hold Dade at second as he fires it over to Ivy at first for out number 2. That'll bring Bobby Bonds to the plate. Again, 25 home runs in 79. So he will be a threat as Nepper delivers. He hits a line drive to right field. Again, a defensive check on Jack Clark. And he will hold the runner to a single. And there was no chance for extra bases.
First and third.
So with 2 outs, again, Cleveland with runners on the corners. Can they do something with it as Andre Thornton comes to the plate? Nepper delivers. And he grounds it to third and swings it over to first. As Cleveland again rally killed here in the third. As they leave 2 more runners on as we go to the 4th. San Francisco still leads 1-0. Coming to the plate for the Giants, Bill Madlock. And Waits delivers. And he gives Madlock a free pass to first. No outs. We have a runner on first. Madlock on first. That will bring up Mike Ivy, who singled his first time up. Will be a ballpark effect. Checking the range on Paul Dade. And it will be a single, moving Madlock all the way to third. So with no outs, there are runners on the corner.
First and third.
For the Giants. It brings up Johnny LeMaster, who singled his first time up. And he'll single again to left field, scoring the runner on third as Ivy will move over to third. So with no outs,
first and third.
Runners remain on the corner. That brings up Dennis Littlejohn. And he hits into a possible double play, but we have to check on the pivot man chart. Second baseman, Dwayne Kuiper. He will not get him, and that will score another run. As
2 outs, base is empty.
The Giants go up now 3-0. And that will bring up pitcher Nepper. Will swing away. And he doubles to right field. Nepper, the pitcher, comes up and helps his cause as he's now standing on second with 2 outs. Larry Hernan coming to the plate. Pitch is delivered. He singles to center field. What will the third base coach do with Nepper at third? He sends him, and he is safe as we have now a 4-0 game. As Waits is letting this get away from him. Hernan on first. Looks to steal. And he's off, and he's stolen a base. So we have a runner on second in scoring position again with 2 outs. And Terry Whitfield to the plate. He He's walked and grounded out today. This is his third trip to the plate. Whitfield to the plate. And he lifts one into left field. Ballpark effect. And he flies out to Dade and left to end the inning. But after at the top of the fourth, the Giants have taken a 4-0 lead. One second here. That'll bring Toby Hara back to the plate. Third baseman struck out his first time up as Nepper looks to deliver with a 4-0 lead. And he pops him up to second base. Madlock settles underneath it for out number 1.
1 out, base
here in the bottom of the fourth. That'll bring Gary Alexander to the plate. He singled his first time up. Nepper to the belt as he delivers. And Alexander will single into left field as Whitfield brings it up. So with 1 out, Kuiper comes to the plate with Alexander on first. Kuiper digs in as Nepper delivers. He pops it up to first base. Ivy settled underneath it. Alexander can only stand there and watch as it's out number 2.
Man on first.
Now bring up Tom Verzer. Verzer grounded into a double play his first time up. And he will hit it short
and 1 left on.
to center field. Herndon settles underneath it for out number 3 as we go to the 5th. San Francisco leading 4-0. Coming to the plate for San Francisco, Jack Clark. Waits, toes the rubber. He delivers. And he strikes out Clark. If I remember correctly, that'll be the trifecta for Clark as he struck out all 3 times today. And that will bring Evans up to plate, 0 for 2 for today. He's lined out to second and flying out to left field as Waits delivers. Evans digging in. And he lines out to the shortstop, Verzer. Makes a nice stab of the ball for out number 2.
Space is empty.
That'll bring Bill Madlock to the plate. As Waits delivers. And he puts Madlock on first.
2 outs, man on first.
That'll bring Mike Ivy to the plate, who is 2 for 2 today. He's singled both plate appearances. Madlock will look to steal. And he does. He moves to second on a stolen base. So again, we have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. And Ivy, 2 for 2 for today. Can he make it 3 for 3 as the pitch comes from Waits? And he strikes him out to end the inning.
And 1 left on.
And
bottom of the 5th.
Now we go to the bottom of the 5th. Rick Waits to the plate. I believe it's time for Waits to come out. Need to try to manufacture some runs here. Let's see who to bring in. Let's bring in Pruitt. Ron Pruitt will come in for weights here in the bottom of the 5th. And a picture of Ron Pruitt. He looks like a teenager. How old was Pruitt in '79, I wonder? Here comes the pitch from Nepper to Pruitt. And it's an error check on Lemaster. He's only a 34, so it's a good chance, but we'll see. And it will be an error. It's a 2-base error on Lemaster, as it must have been a throwing error as he threw it in the dirt. So with no outs, Pruitt standing on second. Paul Dade comes to the plate. He struck out and doubled. Pitch from Nepper. He's hit it to the shortstop. Stop again, an error check on Johnny Lemaster. This time he makes the play, swings it over to first, but Pruitt will move to third.
1 out, man on third.
So with 1 out, we have Pruitt 90 feet from the first run for the Indians today. That brings up Rick Manning, who's singled and grounded out to short. Nepper to the plate. He flies out to center field, but it will score. Ivy from third, as the Indians are now on the board. 4-1 San Francisco, and that brings up Bobby Bonds, who's 2 for 2 for the day with 2 singles. And he gets a free pass as Bonds is now on first.
2 outs, man on first.
With Andre Thornton to the plate. Bonds will attempt to steal. Will never hold him. Now this time it is a stolen base by Bobby Bonds, as Bonds is standing on second in scoring position as Andre Thornton digs in. Nepper delivers, and he strikes him out.
1 run, no hits, 1 error, and 1 left on.
So after 5, we have San Francisco leading 4-1.
Top of the 6th.
And I got to bring a pitcher in. Who will I bring? Bring a righty in. Coming in to pitch will be Victor Cruz, who does have a save during this series. So Cruz coming in to pitch. Lemaster digging in. He's 2 for 2 for the day. But this time he'll pop out to third as Harris settles in underneath it for out number 1.
Base is empty.
That will bring Dennis Littlejohn to the plate. Littlejohn is 1 for 2 with a single and grounding into a double play. Here's the pitch, and he will single to left field as there's a runner on first with 1 out. And the pitcher Nepper will come to the plate to try to sacrifice Littlejohn over to second as Nepper looks to lay down the bunt.
He's going to lay down a bunt.
And he sacrifices him over. He gets the job done. Put a runner in scoring possession with 2 outs. Larry Herndon coming to the plate. And he walks Herndon. So With 2 outs, there's runners on first and second.
2 outs, men on first and second.
With Terry Whitfield coming to the plate. Whitfield's 0 for 2 for the day with a walk. Cruz delivers. Single to right field will score Littlejohn. And San Francisco goes up 5-1 as Victor Cruz is not getting the job done here in the top of the 6th. Jack Clark comes to the plate, who was struck out 3 times today. Can he get off the snide? He grounds it to third.
And 2 left on.
Hara over to Thornton at first. Out number 3. But San Francisco will pick up another run as they go up 5-1 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Knepper still on the mound as Toby Hara steps to the plate. Hara's struck out and popped up to second base as he steps to the plate for the 3rd time. Knepper delivers, and he will ground out to the pitcher. Over to first. Out number 1.
Base is empty.
That'll bring Gary Alexander to the plate as Knepper is pitching well. He grounds it to Darrell Evans at third. Picks it up over to Ivy at first for out number 2. As Dwayne Kuiper comes to the plate. Kuiper 1 for 2 for the day with a single as Knepper delivers. And he will hit an infield single, and there will be an error check on second baseman Madlock. And it is an error. So Kuiper will be safe at second with 2 outs. As the Giants are having trouble fielding the ball today.
2 outs.
That's their second error of the game. It'll bring Tom Berzer to the plate. Berzer 0 for 2, grounding out into a double play and flying out to center field. As Knepper brings the pitch to the plate. It's a deep fly out to right field as Jack Clark settles underneath it for out number 3. We go to the 7th. San Francisco leading 5-1. Darrell Evans stepping to the plate. And he's 0 for 3 for today. And deep fly out. He hits it deep to left field. Dade settling underneath it for out number 1.
1 out, base is empty.
And Cruz is getting fatigued now. But I'll try to get him out of this inning as Bill Madlock steps to the plate. And he hits it deeply to right field, but Bobby Bonds takes a few steps back, settles underneath it for out number 2.
Base is empty.
As Mike Ivy comes to the plate, 2 for 3 for today, struck out his last time up. As Cruz toes the rubber, Mike Ivy digs in. Here comes the pitch. It's a ball hit to the shortstop. It will be an error check on Berzer. And he does not. He makes a great play, backhands it over to first to Thornton, and he gets Ivy by a couple steps for out number 3. As we go to the bottom of the 7th, Cruz will be first up in the 7th. He will not be making it. He's done for the day. As we will bring in Ron Hassey will come to the plate. as Nepper is still in the game. As he digs in as the pitch is delivered. And he will hit it deeply to right field. Jack Clark, a couple steps back, settles under it, squeezes it for out number 1.
1 out, base is empty.
That'll bring Paul Dade back to the plate. 1 for 3 for the day. Nepper delivers. And he'll single up the middle. Dade on first with 1 out. And Nepper now pitching from the B column. I'd like to get him out of this inning. That'll be a single off of Madlock's glove as hit sharply. Could not come up with it.
1 out, men on first and second.
So runners on first and second. And Bobby Bonds coming to the plate. Should I pull Nepper here? I wish I had someone in the chat. 1 out. Bonds is 2 for 3 with a walk. No, he's 2 for 2 with a walk, excuse me. Now we're going to continue to pitch Nepper. Here comes the pitch from Nepper. Bonds digging in to make this game interesting real quick. And he walks Bonds to load him up.
Base is loaded.
And that will be all for Nepper. Who to bring in? Let's see, I got right-handers, and right-handers. We'll bring in Greg Minton will come in. Minton had a 4-3 record with a 1.81 ERA with 4 saves. So Minton comes in. Thornton digs in. Base is loaded. Minton's come into a mess, but he brings the heat. And he grounds out to the pitcher over to Ivy, but that will score a run as Dade crosses the plate. It'll move Manning over to third and Bonds to second with 2 outs. The game is now 5-2 as Toby Harris steps to the plate. Harris does have some pop to his bat as he hit 20 home runs in 79. Here's the pitch. And he walks Harris to load him up again. So maybe he was pitching cautiously to Harris. But Alexander's got a little pop to his bat as well with the 15 home runs in 79 as Gary Alexander comes to the plate. Minton again. Here's the delivery. He flies out to center field. Herndon settling underneath it for out number 3 as we go to the 8th. San Francisco leading 5-2. We got to bring in a new pitcher. And we'll bring in who to bring in. Bring in Paul Russell. Russell on the season had a 7.94 ERA. So this is a risky pick. And the master promptly singles to right field.
No outs, men on first.
That'll bring up Dennis Littlejohn, probably the hitter Russell wanted to see, as he grounds out to third, but that'll move LeMaster to second. with one out.
Man on second.
Man on second. And Greg Minton will come to the plate. And we'll lay down the sacrifice. Try to move LeMaster over to third.
Lay down a bunt.
The air check on Russell. And that will have Minton safely on first. Now runners on the corner with Larry Herndon coming to the plate. Short fly ball to left field. LeMaster will not be able to
First and third.
tag up and score, as that brings Whitfield up with runners on the corner with 2 outs. Paul Russell delivering. And he strikes him out to end the inning as Russell pitches himself out of that jam.
Bottom of the 8th.
As we go to the bottom of the 8th, San Francisco up 5-2. Greg Minton on the mound as Dwayne Kuiper comes to the plate. And he strikes him out. As Kuiper is sat down.
1 out, bases empty.
And that'll bring up Tom Verzer, who has went hitless today. And he's got a 50-50 chance in the ballpark effect for a single. Which way will it go? And he flies out to center field.
2 outs, bases empty.
And that'll bring Russell to the plate. He will not be swinging the bat. As Dell Austin will come to the plate for Russell. Minton to Dell Austin. And he strikes him out to end the inning. So we go to the 9th with San Francisco leading 5-2. As Sid Mong, or is that Mong? I don't know, will come to the plate. Hit a 2.40 ERA with a 12-10 record with 19 saves. So hopefully he can come in and shut down San Francisco. Oh boy, he's lofted up a softball to Jack Clark, and Jack Clark has hit a home run as he's put it into the stands over the outfield wall to make it a 6-2 game as Sid comes in and offers up
no outs, bases empty.
The grapefruit. That'll bring Darrell Evans to the plate with San Francisco up comfortably 6-2. And he doubles into the corner. This is unexpected.
No outs, man on second.
When you look at Mong's card, you would think he would be coming in and having a little more success as a Matlock comes up, pops out to first base. Route number 1.
Man on second.
They'll bring up Mike Ivy, who's had a pretty good game today. He's two for 4. And he will ground out to the shortstop, over to first, moving Evans over to third.
2 outs, man on third.
2 outs. Runner 90 feet away from a 7-2 game. Johnny LeMaster to the plate. He's hit by the pitch.
2 outs, men on first and third.
So runners on the corner with Little John coming to the plate. LeMaster will look to steal. I don't know why you would steal in this situation. Up 6-2, but hey, why not? And he's on second. Yeah, let's just put the pressure on Sid Mong. 2 outs, runners on second and third. Little John to the plate. And he strikes him out in the inning.
And 2 left on.
So we go to the bottom of the ninth with San Francisco comfortably up 4 runs. But we do have the top of the lineup. As Minton has pitched well, he will continue. Paul Dade. He hits it sharply to the shortstop, but he makes a leaping catch for out number 1. LeMaster makes a great grab as we go to Rick Manning. Minton delivers to Manning, and he strikes him out. So the Indians are down to their last out as Bobby Bonds comes to the plate. Minton delivers, and he strikes him out to end the game.
Until next time, this is Replay Radio signing off.
Pretty well pitched game by Minton. He did allow a lot of hits, but only 2 runs coming across. So we end this game. Nepper winning pitcher, and Minton came in for the save. Rick waits, of course, with the loss in this 6-2 win for the Giants. In the box score, let me make sure my face is not in the way. It is. Let's move that out of the way there. Let's move that over there. As you can see, the hitting for Cleveland actually swung the bat better. The .319 average to the .278 for San Francisco, but San Francisco doing the damage when it needed to be done. Cleveland for the game left 10 runners on base. With runners in scoring position, they were 1 for 11. Whereas with runners in scoring position for the Giants, they were 4 for 16. I believe that is the tell of the game, getting the runners across the plate when it mattered. Base running for San Francisco, stolen bases, Herndon, Madlock, and LeMaster all stealing bases, putting themselves in good positions to score. With the pitching, Nepper pitched 6 1/3, allowing 10 hits and just 2 runs and only 1 earned. So he finished the game with a 1.42 ERA. Minton came in to pitch 2 2/3, allowing no runs across, striking out 4, facing 9 batters, where the platooning of Cleveland, Waits got sent to the bench early. They yanked him in the 5th after he had allowed 7 hits and 4 runs, all of them earned, and also walking 3. Cruz come in and did not help the cause at all. Russell and Mong done fairly well. But that was the tale of the tape for the game. Now let's go back. Let's finish out the day for the rest of the games on our schedule. So that brings us to the White Sox versus the Dodgers, with the White Sox up 1-0. And the Dodgers even that series 1-1 on a 5-4 tightly contested game with Rick Sutcliffe being the MVP of that game. And then we come to the Padres and the Twins. Minnesota up 1-0 in that series, and that series is now knotted up 1-1. I failed to mention that win by San Francisco tied the series between them and Cleveland 1-1. Atlanta and Philadelphia, with Atlanta up 1-0. Now that series is tied 1-1 with a 5-4 win by Philadelphia. It comes up to our last game of the day, the Oakland A's against the St. Louis Cardinals from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. St. Louis up 1-0, and they will take a 2-0 lead in that series with a 5-3 win, with Bob Forsch being the MVP of that game. And that will conclude today's games from the Dumpster Fire Invitational. Hope you enjoyed this production of SDG Replays playing of the Dumpster Fire Invitational. Looking forward to day 3